to date on weekly events, live music, and food and beer specials. Lone Star Boyle House and Sports Bar. Your home away from home for sports, good times, and great food. The best boiled seafood. Lone Star Boyle House and Sports Bar. 320 West 5th Street, downtown Panama City.
When you bring your vehicle to Panama City Toyota for repairs or maintenance, you'll get the warmest welcome around.
That's because we see service differently.
It's not only an expert team that can help with everything, from simple adjustments to a new set of tires. It's also a team that values your time, so we make your experience as quick and comfortable as possible. Because we're committed to service that goes beyond. Only at Panama City Toyota.
Looking for a new way to explore Bay County? Or maybe your trusty bike needs a tune-up? Head to Steve's Bike Shop. They've got a huge selection of new and used bicycles, plus the latest electric bikes to get you where you need to go fast. And if your bike is acting up, their expert technicians repair all makes and models, even electric bikes. Serving Bay County for 46 years. Steve's Bike Shop, 1924 West 23rd Street, right across from Sam's. Steve's Bike Shop. Your ride starts here.
Are you hungry for authentic Mexican cuisine? Then come to El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, where we serve up the freshest, most flavorful dishes on the beach. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill. A great location, comfortable atmosphere, and happy hour from 3 to 7. Buy one, get one free. Regular margaritas and 12-ounce house drafts. And you're going to love their lunch specials Monday through Friday from 11 to 3. Plus live music Wednesdays and Saturdays starting at 5:30. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill. Thomas Drive across from the Navy base. And 10908 Front Beach Road.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now to learn more.
800-605-4650. 800-605-4650. 800-605-4650. That's 800-605-4650.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota, ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Inside Drive. Live and local from the Gulf Studio. It's the next evolution of sports talk radio. The biggest reactions.
Now.
And now we're taking...
With the first pick.
This is the last ball you got to bet. The Inside Drive. From college to the pros. Interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And good Monday morning. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. 104.3 in Panama City Beach, all the beautiful Bay County surrounding areas and beyond. Down there in Port St. Joe on 101.9 across the beautiful Forgotten Coast. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. All you can do is search up ESPN Northwest Florida. If you find us, please like, subscribe, share, comment, all those wonderful things. We'd appreciate if you interact with us. As always, you can text or call at 850-215-6290. If you don't like to call, you can send us a text and we'll read it on the air and talk about it. Hopefully very soon. Give us a call or a text, 850-215-6290. Still feeling the vibes from Jay last Friday. He'll be back again this Friday. Looking forward to having him again back in the studio.
Yeah, that was a nice little Inside Drive jingle right there.
Yeah, the ID jingle. The ID jingle indeed. You can also download our free mobile app, as Jay always says, inside the Google Play or Apple Store. All you got to do is search up 104.3 and you'll find it right there. Download it. Lots of contests coming through that app, so make sure you have it so you can enter those contests. I would kind of check back all the time and see what's going on in there. And of course, if you follow our socials, you know what's going on as well. Then you can also head over to ESPNPC.com. You can indeed listen live there, But while you're there, you need to sign up for Scorpion TV. Only $45 a month with code ESPNNW. With that code, you'll get over 5,000 streaming channels on demand, including all the pay-per-view events. You would have been able to watch the UFC as part of your package this past weekend. And, of course, all the major sporting events as well. Coming up, we're only we're in we're in the rookie camps right now. So we're really only, 2 months-ish away from preseason football?
Yeah.
Obviously, probably a little more.
Closer to 3 months.
Closer to 3, closer to 4 for the start of the season.
Yeah.
But it'll be here before we know it. To make sure you have Scorpion TV before that all gets here, so you can watch every NFL game that you would like to watch that's not in your market on national TV. Again, just head over to ESPNPC.com. David, I want to bring back the poll question. I kind of had one as I was driving in this morning, seeing somebody mow their grass, and I was like, what's more satisfying, like power washing a really dirty driveway or mowing a nice, fresh yard of grass? Because both for me...
Mowing a fresh yard? So the
cutting.
grass is already... No, I know, but you said mowing a fresh...
Well, I mean fresh is in like, it's grown up a little bit. It's time for a good... It's not too high where it's going to bog down your mower, but it needs a cut, and you're about to put some pretty stripes, depending on what type of grass you have. So do you prefer the pretty stripe mow, or do you like the pretty clean power wash? I like both because I got that OCD completionist, vacuuming, mowing grass, even though I haven't mowed grass in quite some time. And then, of course, power washing as well. It's always a lot of fun watching that dirt go away. So I was like, you know what? We haven't done a poll question in quite some time, so let's throw that out there. Hopefully it's pretty easy to remember. Hopefully it's in the same spot where you can put it up there. All right, we got an announcement that came over the weekend about an NFL player has officially decided to retire. That is Derek Carr. He's played 11 seasons in the NFL and finished, obviously, up with the Saints, but kept battling the shoulder injuries, and eventually that's what, I don't want to say forced him, made him choose to retire and hang it up. But some crazy stats from Derek Carr. He finished his career with 41,245 passing yards. That's more passing yards than all these quarterbacks in their career before they retired. Joe Montana, Johnny Unitas, Donovan McNabb, Jim Kelly, Phil Simms, Steve Young, Troy Aikman, and Kurt Warner. Obviously, Joe Montana had the most, and Kurt Warner had the fewest. So, pretty impressive career for a guy who obviously never got to make it to the Super Bowl, or in fact, make it or win a Super Bowl, but you have to make it to be able to win it. So, what's their quarterback room going to look like now? Who's going to be their starting quarterback? Are they going to try to, maybe pull on the Aaron Rodgers strings, or is he still pretty locked into Pittsburgh? I don't know. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers, it was simply just rumors about Aaron Rodgers joining Nevelwood Golf Club, which is right there in the greater Pittsburgh area. He did, in fact, not join that golf club, which a lot of people were talking about that over the weekend. Oh, he joined the club. That means he's going to be a Steeler. He did, in fact, not join that golf club, but the Steelers' rumors are continually growing. Over the weekend, swirled online speculation that Aaron Rodgers quietly joined the prestigious club Nevelwood near Pittsburgh, fueling further rumors about the possible move to the Steelers. But just as the internet lit up with excitement, local sports reporter Rich Walsh posted on X that Nevelwood president Wayne Chiarazi directed, stating that the four-time MVP has not become a member. The rumor is not true, Walsh wrote. The club would love to have him if he does sign for the Steelers, but as of now, he has not joined. So we had some excitement over the weekend about the landing spot for Rodgers, and then the president of that club, is he being honest, though? That's the thing. Are they wanting to not let everybody know that this has gone down? Did they have a waiting list? Did they let him go ahead of all these people on the waiting list? So that's another potential, opportunity why they're trying to downplay this.
Getting people in the golf world to lie for you, Aaron Rodgers. My goodness gracious.
Right? The president of Nevelwood Golf Club, which I'm pretty sure is a fairly high-end golf club. And obviously we have Oakmont that'll be hosting the U.S. Open here next month, which is also in that greater Pittsburgh area. Any chance that he looks at going to the Saints? Or you think he's pretty locked into Pittsburgh at this point?
Ooh, I mean, there's the possibility. I wonder if who he would be mentoring or who would be his backup has any part to play in that. Would he rather mentor Will Howard at Pittsburgh or Tyler Shough at New Orleans. And who else do they have over there? They got Jake Haener,
Spencer Rattler,
and
and the new guy Tyler Shuck.
So they got a young quarterback over there. And then the other thing is, who do you want to play for head coach wise? You got Mike Tomlin over there at Pittsburgh. I can't even remember who did the Saints end up hiring.
Did they promote their defensive coordinator? We can find out real quick. Not Satins.
Kellen Moore. That's right.
He came over from the...
so then that's where... Do you want the young offensive mind, or do you want the head coach who, year in and year out, makes the playoffs?
Yeah, but, the Saints had a good draft. They did well in free agency, and arguably in a lot easier division there than the Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC North. But, Kellen Moore, Mike Tomlin. But is there really any decent free agent quarterbacks out there still, or has everybody kind of found a landing spot?
What you got? Ryan Tannehill hasn't necessarily retired yet.
I said decent, David. I said decent.
Hey, he was decent.
I know. I'm just messing.
From what I'm looking at here, has Jacoby Brissett? Yeah, he's with Washington.
Yeah, there really isn't anybody left out there. So if Pittsburgh and the Saints don't sign Aaron Rodgers, do they just roll with the quarterback rooms they have? Because Pittsburgh's Mason Rudolph, and then who are the
Will Howard.
Will Howard, yeah. And
I don't know if they have anyone else.
They do. Skylar Thompson.
Oh, that's
Skylar
right.
Thompson.
That's
So you got
which quarterback room do you trust more?
That's a fantastic question. Ooh, which quarterback?
I think of those 6 quarterbacks, I guess I would rely more on Jacob Haener than...
Well, and Haener and Rattler both got serious playing time last year, and neither one of them really looked very good. So what does that leave? The rookie, Tyler Shuck?
And it could be. He's a little bit older, so there is that
transition's
aspect.
not too bad. And then can you trust Mason Rudolph?
No.
Or do you have a competition with Will Howard and whoever else? So.
And Will Howard is of the rookie class. I know there's a lot of talk, obviously, about the Cam Ward, Shedeur over there at Cleveland, whatever. But yeah, for me. I think Will Howard, if he gets the opportunity, could be one of the more, just because of every stop that he's had success. Yeah. And so who knows if that'll play out for him in the National Football League.
Yeah, we shall see. But the saga continues on, and I can't really I don't know if maybe I just didn't pay attention before, but I can't really remember a time where you had 2 teams with not a... whatever the word is, flashy, well-known, seasoned, good quarterback on their teams. And you got both the Saints and the Steelers now kind of in a quote-unquote predicament. Steelers losing Russell Wilson and Justin Fields in the offseason. And then, of course, Derek Carr making the announcement of his retirement, which we haven't heard from Travis Peterson in a long time. And I wonder how he feels about that, because I know he's a big-time Saints and Florida Gator fan. But Saints' trajectory has certainly changed a little bit. And Kellen Moore's... I wonder if they kind of knew that, and that's why they took Shuck, that they knew Carr maybe had it on the table physically.
Had to have.
There's no way they weren't talking about it.
At least a conversation that, hey, there is a chance that I might retire. Because, Derek Carr has been beat up. There's no doubt about that. And it did not get any better when he went to New Orleans.
Yeah.
It wasn't, but I don't want to use the word thoroughly surprised, but I was extremely surprised whenever I got the announcement, the notification that Derek Carr was retiring. That was Saturday morning, right?
Yeah. Yep. Feels like it was only yesterday, but it was indeed Saturday morning. All right, pivoting over to the NBA side of things. Don't forget, we got Al Carl coming up at 11:20 to talk about all of our NHL playoff action. And as we do always on Monday, we've got Alan Watson, the owner of Golf Plus, owner-operator of Golf Plus, and of course the studio sponsor here on the Inside Drive. We appreciate them very much. He's coming up at 12:20. So I want to dive into some NBA here real quick. Are the Cavs cooked? They're down 3-1, and they did not look good yesterday.
No, they did not.
Which, perfect time for the Pacers to maybe make another shot or head back to the Eastern Conference Finals for 2 times in 2 years. Thick now, 7-round series has become slogs. Big-time fights here going on. Just everybody's going kind of back and forth. But the Cavs continue to kind of fall behind a little bit. They had the best regular season in the Eastern Conference, and here they now find themselves in a 3-1 hole. Good news is they are heading back home, but they did drop the other 2 games back home. It was a draw-dropping with Indiana up 41 points at half. It didn't look like they were playing on the same basketball court.
It's like different ends.
It's like, I don't even know how that even happens in a half of NBA basketball. But certainly for, Pacers fans like you and Doc A, got to be some exciting stuff. So now the Pacers are up 3-1 on the Eastern Conference top seed. Should we just recognize Indiana has had a stellar end to their season. This team was 34-14 in the regular season in the new year and has just lost 2 games in the playoffs. Not sure if the Pacers are contenders, but this run is certainly no fluke. And now,
I mean, how do you not know if they're? And I know that that's not you saying, but how do you not know if they're somewhat of contenders if they're already contending to be in the Eastern Conference Finals?
Yes,
and have had one of the smoothest runs now. From the outside looking in, you also have to see like the Cavaliers are an injured bunch. Yeah. However, when you look at DeAndre Hunter and you look at Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell throughout the season, they've only played 22 games, all 3 together, 23rd, 24th game, I believe, with the 2 playoff games. So there's not a lot of chemistry there. There's a ton of injuries. Me as a Pacers fan, though, I'm just going with the flow, right? The wave. I'm not going to sit there and talk too much about them. I'd prefer the media and everyone else just count the Pacers out. Keep counting them out. Keep counting them out.
Let them go. Let them go. But Donovan Mitchell will undergo an MRI today after missing the second half of that blowout loss yesterday. He said he's planning to play in Game 5. He said, "I will be good for Tuesday," Mitchell said as part of a brief remarks in the hallway outside of the Cavs locker room following the 129-109 loss to the Indiana Pacers. I wonder, do you know about what body part it was? I'm just curious. Oh,
what's that?
Sustained a lower leg injury.
For who?
For Donovan Mitchell.
Oh, yeah. It was, I believe, left leg.
Gotcha. So, I mean, how does he know we'll be all right? Maybe he won't be.
I wish he would have played the whole game last night to get over 30.5 points, but that is neither here nor there.
Absolutely.
But it's this. I don't think that the series is necessarily over. I know 3-1 is daunting, but they get all they got to do is get back there to Cleveland and get a second win, and who knows what game 6 could look like at that point. So
yeah, absolutely. And that's one of these things, when you're down 3-1, you win the next game, it gives you that little bit of momentum, and then you kind of go back on the road and try to figure it out. But Donovan Mitchell may play, may not play, but the Pacers continue to look very, very good in this series, scoring a ton of points. All the particulars yesterday, the over of 230.5, which I believe was the highest over of the weekend, got smashed. I don't want to say smashed. It was only beat by 8 or 7.5 points, doing some quick math there. But Cleveland never had a chance, really, in that game. The Pacers just got out to a hot start. Didn't look like they could really miss much in that first half, especially. And then, Cleveland tried to come back. I just needed, kind of like you, I needed 10 more points, and we would have been golden like Grams. But I can't complain. Golf paid off for me this weekend. Sepp Straka, my Austrian buddy, that I've seen him play at a club I've worked at in a big-time junior tournament. I was kind of excited. Every once in a while you get those, and I used my free money, too, on that particular bet. But we'll talk some golf later on with Alan Watson. Kind of the rest of the action going on in the NBA side of things. We got a couple more games coming up tonight. Looking forward to talking to Doc A tomorrow as well, because kind of texting with him throughout the weekend, and just his insights on a lot of these games are pretty interesting. But going back to Saturday, Celtics got one game back over there at Madison Square Garden. I think we were talking about it on Friday, how that was a must-win game for the Celtics, and they certainly did get the dub. Jalen Brunson didn't have a bad game, 27 points and 7 assists, but the Celtics won that one 115-93, so I'm sure Boston Tim was happy about that one. They got to play one more game in Madison Square Garden to try to even up that series. Minnesota Timberwolves now lead the Golden State Warriors 2-1. They got to play one more game over there in the San Francisco area, although I think the Warriors Stadium's kind of closer to where the Niners play. They won that one 102-97. Jimmy Butler tried to do as much as he could without Steph Curry. Again, he had 33 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists, but just not enough as the Timberwolves were able to steal that game by 5 points. And then, of course, yesterday we've already talked about the drumming of the Pacers over the Cleveland Cavaliers. Oklahoma City Thunder, they kind of found themselves down just a little bit in that second half, but did just enough, despite Jokic having another good game, 27 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists. SGA had 25 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and another 5-point victory. That is now tied 2-2. Surprising the Nuggets and the Thunder are tied 2-2, or we can never really count the Thunder, especially, or never really count the Nuggets and Jokic out when it comes to the playoffs.
Like I told you, I still think that the Nuggets find a way to win this series. The Thunder are a resilient team, but I think experience deep in the playoffs is on the side of the Nuggets here. I mean, we're talking about two of the best players in the NBA, and Nikola Jokic and SGA there. So great series to this point. It was a great game last night, and resilience shown by the Thunder, too, to get back in there and to win Game 4 and to keep this series even. And again, I would say the Celtics and the Knicks, because the Knicks got the 2-0 series lead to start it off, that intrigues me a little bit more now, maybe so, than what the Nuggets and the Thunder do. But that's the best series in the NBA playoffs, no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of exchanging blows. Obviously, the Thunder kind of played more like their regular season selves in that second game, but the last two games have been a lot closer than that. Next game coming up tomorrow night. Teams that usually go up 3-2 after the 2-2 tie probably go on to win more often than not when it comes to those particular playoff series. Like we just said, Nuggets and Thunder tied 2-2. They'll get underway again tomorrow night. We'll break those games down a little bit more tomorrow with Steve Alexander, but we call him Doc A here on the Inside Drive. Cavs and Pacers also tomorrow night. That series, Pacers can close that one out tomorrow night. And then, of course, the Warriors and the Timberwolves get underway again tonight. Timberwolves have a 2-1 series lead in that one. And then the Knicks-Celtics. If the Celtics win this one against the Knicks, I think they can easily win that series. But this game is huge for that particular series. That'll be tonight at 6:30 p.m. here in the Central Time Zone. I know we got to take a quick break. When we get back, it'll be time to talk a little NHL action with our good friend Al Carl. He's the lead ice technician up there for the Washington Capitals. You listen to the Inside Drive. We'll be right back.
It's the PCB Hobby Takeover with Todd. Mondays at 5:20 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
That is a very high-end card and very rare.
Todd talks about coins, trading cards, collectibles, and the amazing stories behind them.
It was the first one that's ever come through my door.
Plus, we'll be taking your calls and questions at 850-215-6290. The PCB Hobby Takeover.
A platform for you to do your hobby.
Mondays at 5:20 on the Sports Talk Monster. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For this afternoon and evening, a chance of thunderstorms and sunny and a high of 77 with wind 10 to 15 miles per hour out of the southwest. A mixture of light sprinkles and mostly clear skies tonight at a gentle breeze and warm near 72. A variety of mostly sunshine and light sprinkles and 78 tomorrow. 81 and sunshine with a gentle breeze Wednesday. This is your Monday's weather brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Everyone in the area knows that when it comes to portable buildings, Bestway Portable Buildings is the best in portable, period. And now they offer screen enclosures too to help keep those vicious yellow flies, mosquitoes, and no-see-ums away. Need a pole barn? Bestway can do the job. See Bestway Portable Buildings just north of the old mall on Highway 231. Online at BestwayPortableBuildings.com. Bestway Portable Buildings, the best in portable, period. And a golden age business.
Ellis Agency Insurance has been serving Panama City and Bay County for years. They offer a full line of affordable insurance coverage of all types. Many people are attracted to Ellis Agency Insurance because of their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Call independent agent Johnny Ellis for a true comparison of your personal or business insurance. Ellis Agency Insurance at the Old Cullen Insurance location, 1134 Harrison Avenue, across from Dandy Donuts in Delhi. Call 763-1627.
MLB is incoming, and you won't miss a game. Introducing Scorpion TV. Over 5,000 live streaming channels. Catch every game of the season with over 100 sports networks, including ESPN, ESPN Plus, the NFL Network, and Red Zone. Even pay-per-view events. Watch 400 local network channels from Panama City and most major markets. Fox, ABC, CBS, and NBC. Just $45 a month with our promo code ESPNNW. Go to ESPNPC.com and click the Scorpion TV logo.
Broadcasting from the Gulf Plus Studios, it's the Inside Drive. We're betting the limit and covering the spread.
Viva Las Vegas!
The Inside Drive with Ryan and Jay.
Thank you. Nice to be in Vegas.
On ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. It's Monday. It's our 11:20 segment, 12:20 there in the Eastern Time Zone. That means one thing. Our good friend, the lead ice technician for the Washington Capitals, on the line with us to talk about some NHL hockey that transpired over the weekend, and then looking forward to tonight as well. Al, how are you doing, my friend?
Everything's going great, Ryan. Happy to be back on again. Had a nice Mother's Day up on Mooney Mountain on Sioux Court. Get to travel up, but I'm back down here, ready to get back to business.
Mooney Mountain. That brings back some memories, some nostalgia there. Obviously, growing up on Mooney Mountain, right down the street from the Carls.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it was great times. And absolutely zero complaints where we grew up, Hal. You know?
No doubt. Right around the corner from Conklin Pond, which had seen the likes of some skates every once in a while in the wintertime. That's what I certainly miss about being up north. Obviously, don't miss the shoveling the snow, the snow blowing, all that stuff, but no frozen ponds around this neck of the woods. That is for darn sure. But we got a big gulf out there that we can have some fun in as well. All right, Al, let's jump right into it. Capitals, tough go on Saturday, trying to get that series evened up tonight. In your opinion, what kind of happened in that game to have the 4-0 shutout there by the Canes? I know obviously the Canes are a tough team to play against when they have a lead.
Yeah, definitely when they have a lead. That's the way they play their hockey. So, when I'm watching the games and then hearing all the analysts on ESPN and the other networks, Carolina relies on the forecheck and get the puck and get it deep and shoot, no matter where it's from. You look at all the statistics that are from the series so far, and it's just shoot, and time of possession and forechecking and all that stuff, and the numbers are pretty staggering. I mean, the Capitals are kind of narrowing the gap on it, which is good. It's good for them. But the Carolina Hurricanes, this is them. This is their coach. This is Rod Brind'Amour.
Yeah.
This is just the way this team plays hockey, and it's not a secret to anybody. They don't change who they are. They just go and. As much as the Capitals were doing some pretty good things to counter that in that first period, they just they say the bounces didn't go their way. But then again, you have Freddie Anderson, and he's been the difference. He was the difference in that game where a lot of the quality chances that were on him were stopped, and on the other end, the quality chances, a few of them snuck past Logan Thompson. So it's a game of inches. And it's going to be another tight one tonight. 4-0 really didn't dictate that game.
Yeah, especially
that score was a little misleading, 0-0. But unfortunately, that's what it was.
Yep, and like you said, Freddie Anderson currently leading the playoffs with a staggering 1.32 goals against average. And second, even though the guy that's in first with save percentage only played a little bit of a game, Freddie Anderson's got a .940 save percentage. So certainly making it tough on opponents, and hopefully the Caps can even up that series tonight. I know we'll be talking about that one here shortly. And then, of course, on the Golden Knights side of things, we were hoping the Golden Knights would get a victory because one of our gentlemen that he's with me on Thursdays and he fills in for a lot of us when we can't be here on our show, that's Coach Brian Haddad. He's actually out in Vegas right now, and I know David will have him on the show later today doing some live reporting from out there in Las Vegas. But he needed the Golden Knights to win for at least there to be a Game 5 out there in Vegas that he's going to try to go to. But Oilers certainly a powerhouse. Vegas found a way to get the much-needed victory because going down 3-0 is just something that's so hard to do. I think only 4 teams in NHL playoff history have ever came back from a 3-0 deficit. But yeah, the Knights were able to kind of slow them down a little bit. Obviously, it's been the series of comebacks. Edmonton was up 2-0 about a little over halfway through the first. And then before the first period ended, the Knights got it tied up. And that's just so huge. We talk about that sometimes, too, here on the show, is if you can score a goal and tie it up or just make it within a 1-goal game before you head into the locker room, you can really have a huge momentum shift. And then Vegas came out in the second period and was skating hard, and they got another goal to go up 3-2. Connor McDavid, of all people, ties it up there late in the third period. And then with I think it was actually less than 1 second in the game, Riley Smith scored an unbelievable goal to win 4-3. Kind of recap that one for us, Al.
Yeah, 0.4 seconds.
0.4, baby.
Whew. Yeah, that was. I was watching that highlight this morning. Again, those West Coast games are a little tough for me, but it just seems that It seems like it was a very close game from what I saw. It seems like Corey Perry seems rejuvenated at the ripe old age of 40. Not that that's old in real life, but that's old in hockey. And Corey Perry seems to be on a mission. I guess he's been paired with McDavid and Draisaitl, so that line's been clicking. This whole Stuart Skinner thing, I don't know if it's a mentality thing with the Oilers that maybe they just gripping the sticks a little bit too tight when he's in net, or maybe overplaying stuff. I'm not sure what's going on with there, but Skinner, apparently they already announced he'll be playing tonight with Calvin Pickard still injured with whatever is wrong with him. But you look at those numbers right there, 6-0 in the playoffs versus 0-3 in the playoffs. That's got to do something to you mentally at some point. Maybe even though we got them to the final last year, I don't know what's going on with the Edmonton goaltending situation. But yeah, you're exactly right. Just getting that momentum going in at the end of the periods. You sit in the locker room. For that 18 minutes, you sit there, okay, we got one, okay, now we're going to go, and then you got on the other end, I'm like, okay, here we go, they're coming. We got a brace for
on
this.
both sides, it really changes that mentality coming out of the locker room. But yeah, the goal certainly wild, obviously went in. Originally, they waved it off, which was probably the right decision there by the ref, because if you announce it as a goal and then you celebrate and then you come back. But anyway, I like the call of waving it off and then going to the review. It's kind of like when they call the 5-minute majors and then they can go back and review it and change it. So I think some of these video reviews have certainly gone a long way. They obviously didn't get to celebrate it right when it happened, but certainly got to celebrate it shortly after the fact as well. But looks like it went in off of the defenseman on kind of they had like the tip in and then hit the back middle bar real quick and came right out. So wild stuff. I wonder if there's been a goal that's been scored later in a period than that one to win a game. I'm gonna have to search that up at some point because
they had something on the network. They had something about the network this morning, and it's like, it was all 1959, but I don't.
Yeah, 1959.0 or 0.6 point. Yeah, that would be because it has to be the opposite. Yeah, I mean, just what a stunner. Now, do you think that gives Vegas some serious momentum into Game 4?
I would say serious momentum, but they can breathe a little easier. Their morning skate's a little easier today. Emotionally, like I said, 2-1, and instead of being down 0-3, that's a mindset changer right there. So, like I said, they're still on the road. They still got to do their thing, and they're still the Vegas Golden Knights, and it's going to be another hard-fought battle tonight.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Making for some exciting and fun playoff hockey. But that's how it always is. Sunday, we had 2 games there. We had the Dallas Stars beating the Winnipeg Jets 5-2. That series is now a 2-1 lead over the Winnipeg Jets, the President's Trophy winner. And then the series that you've been saying is most likely to go 7, which is ever getting so closer to that, the Leafs and the Panthers. This is just a hard-fought, grinded-out, physical series so far, and the Panthers won that one 2-0 yesterday, and that series is now tied 2-2. Al, there's 3 teams that are down 2-1 and have to play their next game on the road. Like we were just talking about, nobody wants to go down 3-1 in a series, especially when you have to go, or you get to go home on your next game. But the Jets are at Dallas in their next game. They're down 2-1. Your Caps are down 2-1 next game at Carolina, and the Golden Knights are down 2-1 with the next game at Edmonton. Which of those 3 teams do you think is the highest on the panic meter when it comes to where they stand right now?
Well, I think it has to be the Winnipeg Jets right now, only because now we're talking. It's a trend. It's real. Like they can't win on the road, and they like the drastic change of who they are when they're at home versus on the road has been extremely drastic. And Connor Hellebuyck seems to be suspect number 1 on this. Not that he's getting all the blame. I know that I guess the defense, they showed some clips when you're watching the game that the defense has been, kind of hanging them out every once in a while. But, the Winnipeg Jets are a completely different team apparently at home when they're on the road. Now, the good news was that, they are the President's Trophy winners, means they have home ice advantage the entire way, which means they don't have to win on the road. If they just win all their games at home, they're fine. They win the whole thing. Problem is they lost the game at home.
Yep.
So now it's just like it's going to be a problem. If they got to get this home ice advantage back, because now if they don't win at least one game on the road, they're out. So I'll put the Winnipeg Jets on blast on this one, on notice on this one.
I like that. That makes perfect sense. Like I just said, all 3 of those games are on the road for the 2-1 teams, which is pretty wild. That means all these teams stole 1 game on the road themselves. But getting back to this crazy story with Mikko Rantanen, he was traded 3 times in one season. First from the Avs to the Carolina Hurricanes, and then the Hurricanes dealt him to the Dallas Stars and ended up finally signing an 8-year contract extension with the Dallas Stars. He is now leading the playoffs in goals with 9 and points with 18. You talked about it last week, but how much are those Colorado Avalanche regretting trading him, given how much he's scoring and getting points in this particular series?
I think internally they're just like, what did we just do? But in fact, that now he ended up, when they traded him out of the conference. Like,
and then he just came storming right back in.
And then he came flying right back and eliminated him. So it's like, I guess they showed something. I saw a quote. Joe Sakic, their general manager, their president, he's Mr. Avalanche, Joe Sakic.
Yep.
It wasn't working, and he tried something. Like I said, he didn't know if Rantanen was staying or if they could afford to keep him. So they tried to get something for him in Marty Necas. Like I said, which is kind of like an apples for apples trade. Now, Marty Necas is not Mikko Rantanen, but it's not far off. Marty was having a great season at that point. I think he did very well for Colorado. I don't think Colorado really, suffered too much with that trade. I think it was more of a financial thing. But, I saw a crazy stat. I guess Rantanen has been a part of 12 of Dallas's 12 goals, the last consecutive 12 goals. And I think that beats Mario Lemieux's record of 8. So what Mikko Rantanen has been doing right now is historic.
Yeah.
He's just ever since the 3rd period of Game 7, right? And he just hasn't been stopped.
Yes, absolutely. And eliminated the Avs, and now certainly playing havoc there for those Winnipeg Jets. But good stuff. I mean, you didn't, like you said, you didn't trade him to your conference or to your division rival. You traded him outside, and then he just happened to come back. I think it would have been a lot more intense had they just traded him within the division, which isn't something you really see or commonly do. Al, I know we talked about the Winnipeg's goalie not certainly playing the best, the defense in front of him not looking too good either, but who do you think is currently playing the best as far as a goalie in the playoffs? And if I had to
you said it before, if you want to just throw statistics right out there, but you just watch in general. Freddie Anderson has just been he's been a brick wall. He turns into Connor Hellebuck in the playoffs, where Connor Hellebuck is Mr. Regular Season and kind of tails off. He's the other way around. He's usually injured all regular season long, and then all of a sudden he doesn't allow a goal in the playoffs. He just steps up his game, and the Hurricanes as a whole step up their game in front of him. I guess it's a little bit easier when the puck's in the other end for more time, more often than not. But Freddie Anderson just seems to be on point right now. I've witnessed this now. This is my third consecutive year with the prior 2 years with the Islanders. Now this year with Washington. This is my third year seeing him, in person, and it's been frustrating on my end, not just seeing them. Why doesn't anything go in? The Washington Capitals were a very high-scoring team this year, and it's like, man, we don't get shut out. How did this happen?
Right.
But Freddie Anderson, and that's the whole thing with that series as a whole, because Logan Thompson is playing just as great. If you look at the 1 and 2 in goals against and save percentage, it's Freddie Anderson and Logan Thompson. These games are going to be low scoring. We'll look for another 2-1 game tonight or somewhere in that area. But it's just Freddie Anderson. I'm done with him. We need to move on from him.
Yeah, you need to get him out of your playoff life.
Yeah.
He continues to be that guy. But hopefully the Caps can get it through the net on him tonight. And you just kind of mentioned it. Get a little more pressure on him. Get a little deeper in the zone. Kind of play Carolina's game right back at them, and then obviously capitalize on special teams. Anything else tonight that you're looking for from your Caps to try to get this series back tied 2-2?
Yeah, they just got to get back to what they do. So, like you said, I tuned in a little late on Saturday night. I missed probably about the first 15 minutes of the game, and just from hearing the announcers and watching the replays, the Capitals were the Capitals in that first period.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they know what they have to do. They just got to go out and just make sure that some of these pucks can get past. I think Tom Wilson had a breakaway and got snuffed, and there was a couple other plays, like one-timers on the power play. Freddie Anderson was on point. He just turns into a different animal, like I said. So they just got to be them and just limit, what Carolina, try to make sure that Carolina's forecheck doesn't get too overwhelming. What happens in that case is, Carolina, they pressure you, and then you finally get the puck out of the zone, but the only thing you can do is dump it in deep to make a line change, only for Carolina to come back and do it again.
Yep.
They really have to try to, you really have to try to make sure to get the puck out of our end and do what they want to do to you. Do it to them. You want the pressure on their defensemen. And they have a great defensive core, let me tell you. Brett Burns and Jacob Slavin and those guys, and they're playing fantastic right now. So you got to try to maybe pressure them into some mistakes, get some turnovers, get pucks deep, get pucks in net, win some hockey games.
Yeah.
I guess as the old phrase goes.
Absolutely. The other game on the docket tonight, Golden Knights at the Edmonton Oilers. What do you think about that one coming up?
Well, like I said earlier, Stuart Skinner's in net. So, I'll go Vegas just based on that. The numbers aren't lying right now, but like I said, all these games, we're down to 8 teams.
Yep.
We're down to the best 8 teams in the league. Flip a coin, right? You'll have a better opinion than, other people might have. You just flip a coin.
No doubt.
And see what happens. So, but yeah, look for Vegas to keep the pressure going. They said nobody wants to go down 3-1.
No.
At this point, like I said, those 3 teams, the Knights, the Capitals, and Winnipeg, they have to win at least one on the road to get this thing done. So look to be great games.
Definitely. Al, one more question before we got to let you go. Out of the 8 teams remaining in the playoffs, who do you think has the best home ice advantage, best crowd, best atmosphere, whatever you want to call it?
Oh, that's a good one. You know what? I'll go a little against the grain on this one. I think that not against the grain because it's kind of obvious that Toronto, anything Canada, like I'm sure Edmonton, Winnipeg has the whiteout going, but the Leafs can feel this. They feel something different this year. Actually, I'm sitting here. I got the network on TV right now. I was actually, as you were talking, I was just watching the brawl that ensued at the end of the game last night. Toronto's not taking this from Florida right now, so. And I think the fans feel something different. The coaching changed. The core 4 are doing their thing. They got great goaltending in a pretty weird situation because the Stolars is out and Wall's coming in. He's done his job.
He has.
Core 4 is playing well. William Nylander has been playing out of his mind. It seems like every time I turn their game on, he's scoring a goal. So I think the fans feel it, and the fans are into it. And if they, what they do in Canada, they pack everybody outside the arena as well as inside. And you can see that they're feeling something different this year, and they're letting it known.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with you on the trend. They are just begging for an Eastern Conference final. Absolutely begging for it. If they get that, that is going to be a raucous place to play. But, most of these home ice, and I liked you going outside of just obviously taking the home team, because I'm sure the atmosphere there is unreal, as it is in most home arenas in the NHL playoffs. Al, we appreciate you jumping on again with us, and appreciate you continuing on throughout the playoffs, because I know you're a busy guy, and good luck to those Capitals tonight. Hopefully they'll be coming back home tied 2-2.
All right, sounds good. I appreciate you having me on as always, guys. I'll talk to you next week. Go Caps.
There you go. That's Al Carl. He's the lead ice technician there with the Washington Capitals, and kind of carrying us through these Stanley Cup playoffs, which have been a lot of fun to watch thus far, and a lot of fun to bet on should you win those particular games. You guys are listening to the Inside Drive. When we get back, me and David Hayes are going to talk about some NCAA softball regionals.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
It's all a bunch of crap, man. I mean, NCAA's a bunch of crap. But different lines, just one of unbelievable, amazing, incredible, legendary. Then ... how much time I got?
Then you got Wildcat flipping on the bird, and then that number one.
You don't know what I put up with this, man.
Weekday morning 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Now in stock at Tommy Autos.
2015 Jeep Grand Cherokee Altitude. Luxury at a value price. $13,995 or a 2017 Hyundai Santa Fe Sport with one owner. Sporty and affordable. $11,995 at Tommy Autos.
Buy here, pay here. Financing options available. Everyone is approved. Tommy Autos, 2209 West 15th Street, Panama City. Call 850-960-8664. For the latest deals and specials, follow Tommy Autos on Facebook at Tag Tax and Title.
Visit the newly remodeled Mid-South Lumber Hardware and Feed Store in Youngstown. They have a full line of plumbing, electrical, hardware, and tools for your DIY home projects, as well as lumber and animal feed. Now offering not only baby chicks and a full line of poultry supplies, but also bunnies and parakeets. They also carry a wide selection of Duplin wines and gourmet products, so you don't have to drive to the beach. Come see us at Mid-South Lumber on Highway 231 in Youngstown.
Are you hungry for authentic Mexican cuisine? Then come to El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, where we serve up the freshest, most flavorful dishes on the beach. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, a great location, comfortable atmosphere, and happy hour from 3 to 7. Buy one, get one free, regular margaritas and 12-ounce house drafts. And you're going to love their lunch specials Monday through Friday from 11 to 3. Plus live music Wednesdays and Saturdays starting at 5:30. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, Thomas Drive across from the Navy base. And 10908 Front Beach Road.
Broadcasting from the Gulf Plus Studios. It's the Inside Drive. From the fairway to the rough.
I was hoping to squeeze in 9 holes before this rain starts.
From the greens to the bunker.
Certainly, Your Eminency.
It's the Inside Drive with Ryan and Jay.
The good Lord would never disrupt the best game of my life.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We are Braves country right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Broadcasting all of your Atlanta Braves games that aren't during our normal local programming. We got the Coach James Hale Show from 7 to 9. Don't have to worry about them getting pushed out by Braves or having a Braves game during that same time. Of course, the Inside Drive right here from 11 to 1, and in the afternoon, Underdogs from 4 to 6 p.m. Do have a game coming up tonight right after the afternoon Underdogs. Coverage starts at 6 p.m. First pitch at 6:15 against those Washington Nationals up there at Truist Park. But let's stay with the ball sports and move to the softball side of things. Real quick, just going to go through the winners of all the conference tournaments, and not every conference tournament has a single winner. America East was Binghamton. It sounds like a place. That sounds like a soccer team over there in Europe.
Yeah.
Binghamton.
Binghamton. Here we go. Let's go play a little softball.
They're going out on the pitch, and they're going to pitch as well. The AAC.
Pitching on the pitch.
Pitching on the pitch. The AAC was South Florida. The ASUN was North Florida. The Atlantic 10 was You Can Find Me in St. Louis. The ACC, first time ever in history, the Clemson Tigers win they won that, I believe it was 2-1.
Oh, did they end up beating Florida State? Dang, Florida State. They were up like 1-0 for the
Yeah, and then
game,
they ended up losing 2-1, I believe. Doesn't have the scores here, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
I was watching a lot of that game.
Yeah. Well, there were so many weather delays this past weekend as well.
Yeah, because I was trying to watch Texas A&M in Oklahoma, and so then I ended up watching this documentary. They cut it off because they went back to softball, but Roll Tide War Eagle.
Yeah, it was on it said like 144 or something like that on the guide. I don't know why it said that, but
and so I was watching that, and then they go back to softball. Like, dang, man, I was like, really?
Yeah, that's a good one too. That's
I almost texted. I've seen it before, but I wasn't like focused on it. So I told myself, all right, I'm going to pay attention to this time, And I was going to text you about it, and
ironically, I was watching it.
There you go. So then I changed it back, trying to get back to Texas A&M, Oklahoma. I'm scrolling through the channels and stuff, and then it says the SEC announces them as co-champions. I'm like, what? This is crazy,
right?
And then, I mean, how about the SEC championship being two non-traditional SEC teams? Oklahoma, obviously, first year in the SEC, and then Texas A&M been in for a while, but great year by both squads.
Absolutely. The Big 12 was Texas Tech. Big East, UConn. Big Sky was Weber State. Big South, USC Upstate. The Big 10 was Michigan. The Big West, my dad's alma mater, UC Santa Barbara. The Colonial Athletic Conference was the Elon, I believe that they're the
Musks.
The Musk, the Elon. You got me. I think they're the Flames. No, that's Liberty. Elon Phoenix.
Yeah,
Phoenix.
That's it, yeah.
I toured Elon when I was looking at colleges. Beautiful campus there in North Carolina, but they ended up winning the Colonial Athletic Conference. Conference USA was the Liberty Flames. The Horizon Conference was Robert Morris. The Ivy League was Brown.
Robert Morris is the Patriots.
Yes, I believe you're right on that. The Brown, I think it's the Browns.
It might be. All right, so we got Robert Morris and Brown. For some reason, I don't know, maybe this is just me channeling Jay, but I want to say the Bears.
The Brown Bears? Yeah, well, lay down then. We'll figure that. David will figure that out in a second. The MAAC was Marist University, and then the MAC was Miami of Ohio, and the MEAC was Howard.
Missouri. It is the Bears.
It is.
It is the
Brown
Bears.
Bears. So make sure you lay down when you go to one of their games, because you don't want to get mauled. Missouri Valley Conference was Belmont. The Mountain West Conference was San Diego State. The NEC, I'm guessing that's the Northeastern Conference.
Yeah,
it's a guess anyway.
Sounds good.
St. Francis got that one.
And St. Francis sounds like they're from the Northeast too. So
no doubt,
perfect.
No doubt. The Ohio Valley Conference was Eastern Illinois. That's Jimmy Garoppolo's alma mater. I don't know why I know that, but I do. The Patriot Conference was Boston University. The SEC Conference was co-champs, like David Hayes said, of Oklahoma and Texas A&M. Although Texas A&M got the overall #1 seed in the brackets in all the regionals, which we're going to talk about here in just a second.
Robert Morris is the Colonials, not the Patriots.
No,
but almost synonymous, right?
Same thing. Colonials were Patriots, you know, if you want to look at it that way.
And Patriots were Colonials.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost synonymous, some may say. The Southern Conference was Mercer. I know they're the Bears. The Southland Conference was Southeastern. I believe that's, where's Southeastern?
I believe Louisiana. They got a great band.
Yes, that they do. The Band of the South. Songland of the South. That's actually a song. And then the SWAC Conference was Jackson State. Summit Conference was Omaha.
Southeastern is the Lady Lions.
The Lady Lions. What if they're a men's team?
But then they're just the Lions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't they just go Lion versus Lioness? So, like...
Yeah, the Lionesses.
I like Lady Lions.
Yeah. That's easier to say. Lady Lions.
What do they call that?
Alliteration.
I was going to say iteration. Reiteration. Reiterate what you just said there, brother.
The Summit Conference was Omaha. The Sun Belt Conference was Coastal Carolina University. The WCC did not have a tournament, but their champion was Santa Clara. And then the WAC Conference was Grand Canyon University. The reason why I mentioned all those is because they all get automatic bids in to the College World Series regional bracket. Obviously, They'll play a double elimination series in each one of these regionals, with one team advancing to the Super Regionals. Both are in the Super Regionals will be a best out of 3. The first one, and David and I are going to pick them. You want to put something? I know our pick 'em has kind of gone by the wayside, even though you were killing us in that, just like you did last year. Do you want to have some fun and maybe put like a something on this?
Yeah, for sure.
Little, I'll let you think
little
about it.
wager? No, you call it, sir.
I was going to do like the hat thing like you and Max
but you don't wear hats.
That's true, I don't.
We got to do something that both of us would enjoy the fruits of our winnings.
That's true. This is just...
So we'll just do the picks, and then by the end of the show, and 850-215-6290. What would you guys like to see me and Ryan wager on this that is not a financial?
Yes.
Yeah, we're not going to do like $1 or Abraham Lincoln. No. Unless you want to do a penny. I'm down to bet a penny.
Well, I mean, whatever this is going to be, I'm going to be giving it to you anyway. So.
Nah.
Well, more often than not. All right, we'll go as quick as we can.
Let's get her.
We'll start with the College Station Regional. Like I said, Texas A&M. The number 1 overall seed is Texas A&M, St. Francis, Marist University, and the Liberty Flames. That's certainly what seems like an easy one for the Aggies. So I'm going to go with Texas A&M. David Hayes, who are you going with?
We'll keep it tied right there.
Got to go with that.
That's a wash.
Got to go with that. In the next one, in the Eugene Regional, Oregon is the number 18 overall national seed. They've got Stanford, Binghamton, and Weber State.
I'm going to go, I think it comes down to 2 former Pac-12 teams between Oregon and Stanford. I believe they'll be playing on Sunday for the right to go to a super regional hosted by Texas A&M. If they win, give me the Ducks. Quack, quack. Shout out Dave Neat.
Absolutely. That's a winning program right now. But I'm going to go with the Cardinal to take down the Quackers, because obviously they're not a national seed, but a great season, got to 40 wins, 40-11, and typically a perennial powerhouse when it comes to the world of softball.
And the ACC got 9 teams in, conference record for them, so it is fair to say that the ACC had a stronger season than what the Big Ten did.
Yeah, no, absolutely agree with that. Little Big Ten poke there. Speaking of the Big Ten, the Los Angeles Regional is hosted by UCLA, the number 9 overall seed. They've got UC Santa Barbara, San Diego State, and Arizona State.
I don't really see anyone jumping off the page, and that's what it takes for me in softball, being that I haven't watched a lot of these teams outside of the SEC and the ACC, to be honest. So give me the Bruins right here to move on and possibly host a super regional.
Yes, I agree with you on that one. So I got the UCLA Bruins winning that one as well. Next, we've got the Columbia Regional, and that is Columbia, South Carolina, hosted by the number 8 overall national seed Gamecocks. They've got Virginia, North Florida, and Elon in their particular regional.
Yeah, I'll go with South Carolina, which will prevent UCLA from hosting the Super Regional, and they would stay over there in South Carolina. Give me the Gamecocks.
Yeah, I wanted to take the Ospreys of North Florida, but I think the Gamecocks are just an overall better program, so I'm going to take SC in that one as well. USC, go Cox.
Oh, this next one.
Number 5 seed, the Florida State Seminoles have Robert Morris, South Florida, and the Auburn Tigers. This is hosted over there in Tallahassee. If you're looking for something to do this weekend, you can make the trip over there and see the entire regional.
Yeah, this is a tough regional right here, especially having Auburn and South Florida in there.
Yeah.
Can't forget about those Colonial/Patriots, but I'm going to stay with the Noles.
I've got South Florida come out of this one.
Wow, you didn't take your War Eagles.
No, I didn't, because I'm picked this. I don't know what we're going to be wagering for. So
I was getting ready to play the Auburn fight song for you.
Wait till we get to baseball regionals. Then we'll jump. I'm assuming they're going to be hosting one on that side of things.
Sounds
they're having a great year as well in the baseball side of things.
They've really bounced back.
Yeah, because last year they really sucked in the SEC, and this year have certainly turned it around. The Lubbock Regional, hosted by the 12 national seed Texas Tech Red Raiders. They've got Mississippi State, Washington, and the Brown Bears in their regional.
This one for me, I'm gonna stay a little chalky here. I could go with the 37-17 Mississippi State Bulldogs, but I'm gonna stay with the Red Raiders to Texas Tech. Pew, pew.
I'm also going to go with the Texas Tech Red Raiders in that one. All right. Now the Tucson Regional out there where Arizona University is. You've got Arizona, the number 13 national seed, Santa Clara, Grand Canyon, and then Ole Miss in this one.
This one I'm going to veer off a little bit. This one might be a direction for you to pick up one if Oregon does take Stanford out. I'm going to go with Grand Canyon and the Antelopes.
There you go. The old Antelopes.
Yeah.
Gotta watch out for them while they're jumping around. I was actually going to take the Ole Miss Rebels, but I am going to go with Arizona since you took the Grand Canyon Antelopes.
Yeah.
I guess there is antelope in the Grand Canyon, so that makes sense. The number 4 overall seed, Arkansas Razorbacks in the Fayetteville Regional. They've got Indiana, Oklahoma State, and St. Louis.
I'll be having Sydney Fields from Sport and Story. She writes about the Hogs. She'll be on with us Thursday on the afternoon Underdogs at 5 o'clock previewing all of these regionals. She's a huge Hogs fan. Let's go Brie Ellis. Let's go Razorbacks.
There you go. The Razorbacks coming out of the Fayetteville Regional. I'm going to go against the grain just because it's what I like to do sometimes, and that's why I usually lose these things. I'm going to go with Oklahoma State upsetting Arkansas in the Fayetteville Regional, coming out of that one to take on those Arizona Wildcats.
Got the Pokes.
The Pokes. All right, we'll get as many as we can before we got to take a break, and then maybe we'll finish in the beginning of that Afternoon Delight debrief segment. Now we have the Gainesville Regional, hosted by the number 3 national seed Florida Gators, who have the Mercer Bears, the Florida Atlantic Owls, and the Georgia Tech Rambling Wreck, the Yellow Jackets. David, who do you got coming out of that one?
I think that this is going to come down to Florida and FAU, but I think Florida will remain strong. Florida moves on to the Super Regionals.
Yes, I cannot disagree with that. I've got to go with the Gators as well on that one. Florida Atlantic, good season. I think the Gators just have their pitching is just really, really solid this year, and I think that's what carries them onto that Super Regional, which they would host in Gainesville, despite who comes out of the Duke Regional, the number 14 overall national seed. They've got Georgia, Coastal Carolina, Howard in their regional up there in Raleigh-Durham.
We talked about the SEC, a record 14 teams, 8 of those, I believe, being host squads. And then the ACC kind of right behind them.
Yeah.
So that's what I see this coming down to, Duke and Georgia. And I'm going to go biased here, and I'm going to take the Lady Bulldogs of Georgia for a Florida-Georgia matchup in the Super Regionals.
Ooh, world's largest softball cocktail party.
There you go.
I don't want to, but I have to. So I'm going to go with my Coastal Carolina Chanticleers, who've kind of surprised a lot of people this year. 40 wins. I believe that was for the 41 wins, the first time over 40, I think, in program history. So maybe they'll make some noise up there in Durham. We got to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll finish this up and then dive into some Afternoon Delight debriefs on this Monday afternoon.
ESPN Northwest Florida. We're taking the inside drive.
Yeah, who doesn't, go out and shoot 4 straight rounds of 61, 63, 66, 63? That's the way I normally play when I'm playing Tiger Woods on the old Xbox. But it was really impressive. And Scheffler is such an underrated competitor.
Join Ryan Mulvey.
Thank you very little.
Middays 11 to 1 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For this afternoon and evening, a chance of thunderstorms and sunny and a high of 77 with wind 10 to 15 miles per hour out of the southwest. A mixture of light sprinkles and mostly clear skies tonight and a gentle breeze and warm near 72. A variety of mostly sunshine and light sprinkles and 78 tomorrow. 81 and sunshine with a gentle breeze Wednesday. This is your Monday's weather brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
When you bring your vehicle to Panama City Toyota for repairs or maintenance, you'll get the warmest welcome around.
That's because we see service differently.
It's not only an expert team that can help with everything, from simple adjustments to a new set of tires. It's also a team that values your time, so we make your experience as quick and comfortable as possible. Because we're committed to service that goes beyond. Only at Panama City Toyota.
WGSX Lynn Haven WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
And that's out of the ballpark.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards in Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
Now back to the Inside Drive, live and local from the Gulf Plus studios.
Sky rockets in flight.
And now, the afternoon delight debrief with the three degenerates from the Inside Drive.
Afternoon delight.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
And we are back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live from the Golf Plus studios. Coming up in the next segment, we're joined by owner-operator of Golf Plus right here in Panama City Beach and up there in Dothan off 231, a.k.a. Montgomery Highway. That is Alan Watson. Looking forward to talking to him about Sepp Straka's big win in the Truist Championship. And I haven't said it yet, but it is PGA Championship week, and we've got a lot to talk about this week. I will not be here Wednesday or Thursday, as I'll be making another trip there back to the great city of Jacksonville to get a little more radiation going on. But we'll have some great fill-ins talking about golf, all that good stuff. Don't worry, Keith will still be on the show at 12 to 12:40 on Wednesday, so that way you can win some more money. He did great in DFS again this week, and I think this is his 5th out of 9 winners that he's had on his betting card as well. And luckily I picked the one that ended up getting the dub. Good for Sepp Straka. He just seems like a good dude, and he was the first ever Austrian to win on the PGA Tour, and now he has got 2 wins this season. There's only one other golfer that has 2 wins this season, and that is the Northern Ireland great golfer there of Rory McIlroy. All right, we've got to continue this, and then we'll dive into our afternoon delight debriefs that we've got for today. Now we've got the Clemson Regional, the ACC champion Clemson Tigers in the tournament there. They've got USC Upstate, which isn't a far trip for them, as I believe they're green and like gold or something like that. The USC Upstate Spartans, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, when it comes to USC Upstate.
USC Upstate. Never have heard of that in my life before.
There you go. I've been there before, and I've played a golf course in Spartanburg, the Carolina Country Club.
So this isn't California, this is South Carolina.
Correct. That's why it's not far from the Clemson University. So not a big trip for them as opposed to Northwestern. Not a really big trip for Kentucky either, but USC Upstate is literally probably within 30, 45 minutes of Clemson University. Right there in the heart of Spartanburg. Are they the Sparties?
Spartans, yeah.
Spartans, yes. The USC Upstate
The mascot
Spartans.
is Sparty.
There you go. Seems familiar there. Maybe
Yeah.
I wonder who was first. I'm going to guess Michigan State.
I would imagine so.
Because USC Upstate used to be...
It was established in 1967, so no question.
Yeah, and it used to be something else besides USC Upstate.
It was...
USC Spartanburg?
Yeah, Spartanburg, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Who knew I knew all this information about USC Upstate?
2004 is when they changed it.
Yeah, not too long ago. Not too long ago.
Acceptance rate of 78.6.
There you go. So if you're part of the 22 or 21.4...
Yeah.
Sorry. Nice campus. I mean, it's up there at Spartanburg's beautiful area of the state. That whole northwest corridor of South Carolina is a little hilly. It's certainly beautiful. But let's get back to our picks. Clemson, USC Upstate, Northwestern, or Kentucky.
Oh, this is one I haven't picked yet. This is the only one I haven't picked yet. With that being said, Clemson was able to take down Florida State. Give me Clemson and the Tigers.
Give me Clemson or give me death, but just Clemson.
Patrick Henry.
There you
almost. Almost Patrick Henry quote.
Yes, almost. Just had to change that last word. All right, so we both got Clemson in that one. Kind of makes sense. I don't know who would really give them but you never know. You never know.
Why don't you go Upstate here?
No, don't try to convince me to lose another pick. Next, we've got the Austin Regional. That is going to be Central Florida, Michigan, the Big Ten champion. Eastern I gotta look up
Illinois.
I gotta look at my computer. The font on this is teeny tiny. Hopefully you're able to see it. I don't mean to laugh about that either, but
I can see it, buddy.
Yes, okay, good.
Left eye's working fine.
Because I barely can, and I got glasses on. But yes, Central Florida, Michigan, Eastern Illinois, and Texas in the Austin Regional.
Yeah, give me one of the better teams in the league right now across college softball. Give me the Longhorns of Texas. But would be cool to see UCF move on there.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be tough for them. I think Michigan will probably be the team that ends up playing Texas in the game to advance on to the Super Regionals. But I got to go with the Texas Longhorns as well. They're just too good, and you can't pass on them when you're trying to pick games. Next, the Knoxville Regional. You got Tennessee, the number 7 overall national seed. You got Miami of Ohio, Ohio State, and the UNC Tar Heels. Who do you got in this one, David? This is, I think, one of the more competitive regionals, in my opinion.
Yeah, 3 Power 4 teams. Miami of Ohio could, the Redhawks could cause some chaos there in that regional, but I'm going to stick with the Volunteers of Tennessee, as much as that pains me to say. Go puke orange.
There you go. I'm going to counter that puke orange with some baby blue from the...
Going Bill on me?
I'm going Bill on you. From the Carolina Tar Heels, the Bill Belichick football team led Carolina Tar Heels. So they got the momentum. Heard Jordan Hudson's going to be at the regional. She's going to make the trip down from or the trip across to Tennessee, I should say.
Now it is appointment setting television.
Yes.
Got to make sure I see Bill's 24-year-old girlfriend.
She's not making the trip, but she may. And if she does, I'm going with the UNC Tar Heels. Either way. Next, you got the number 10 overall national seed LSU Tigers hosting in the Baton Rouge Regional, Nebraska, UConn, and SLU. That is Southeastern Louisiana University.
Well, I take little crawdads, I take some onions and anything else that'll make you feel like the LSU Tigers will be moving on. Give me LSU by 100.
By 100. That's
by 1,000,000.
That is Ralph Orgeron right there. As a combination of the
Ralphie O.
Ralphie O, indeed. Oh, do I go against the grain on both of these?
Yes,
in this
you do. Go UConn.
No, I was going to go
Southeastern.
Yeah,
SELA.
I'm going to go with SLU, Southeastern Louisiana University,
all right,
to upset their in-state foe.
There you go.
And, you got to go with the other in-state team there. All right, 2 more to go in this one. Got the number 15 overall national seed, Alabama Crimson Tide, with 21 losses. We've also got Jackson State, Belmont, and Virginia Tech.
I think this one comes down to Alabama, Virginia Tech. Power 4 bias right there. It would be fun to see it be Alabama and Jackson State well, never mind. I was thinking Jacksonville State. I was going to say 2 teams from Alabama, but it is not that. Jackson State's out of Mississippi. So give me Alabama, though.
All right.
Going Crimson Tide.
Bammer. God, I want to pick Virginia Tech.
Come on, do it.
Bama's just
do the hokey pokey, brother.
I like that. All right. Because you said hokey pokey, I'm going to go with Virginia Tech.
Tech.
And then last but not least, you got the number 2 overall national seed. That is the Oklahoma Sooners. They've got Cal, Omaha, and BU. I think Oklahoma's a pretty good pick to win the national championship, so it starts with them coming out of the regional there in Norman.
Yeah, and I believe they'll be out of that regional sooner, heading to a super regional sooner than anyone else. Give me Oklahoma.
That was a pun, ladies and gentlemen. The number 2 overall national seed, the new SEC softball team, the Oklahoma Sooners. We got all the picks in there for the regionals as we progress. We'll see how it goes, and we'll have to look at those super regionals as well. But this is one of my favorite times of year. Obviously, football season is my overall favorite, but hockey playoffs, basketball playoffs, regionals, super regionals, Women's College World Series, soon to be followed by the men's regionals, super regionals, and College World Series up there in Omaha. And then, of course, you've also got the Golf Women's National Championship getting underway on the 16th, followed by the Men's National Championship as well. I know the men's...
Lottie Wood!
Yeah, Lottie Woad, Mirabelle Ting.
Mirabelle Ting. I was forgetting her. I love that last name, Ting.
Mirabelle.
Ting.
That wasn't a good one because I was holding it so it couldn't reverberate.
Maybe if you had a ping putter, though, it'd make the perfect noise.
Yep. Ping.
Go to Golf Plus. They have all your needs.
All your ping putter needs. Remember, you can get fit for putters there just like you can.
Tyler Scott says PGA Championship, too. Can't forget about Quail Hollow.
Yeah. Quail Hollow, a.k.a. Rory McIlroy's playground.
Yeah.
We'll get into that in our next segment with Alan Watson from Golf Plus. It is PGA Champ. Man, there's just so much stuff going on to not be in football season.
And the UFL's going on right now.
UFL's going on right now.
Birmingham and Houston were playing yesterday. They had a nice little game.
Some of those teams are pretty darn good and kind of fun to watch. I like how the UFL gets kind of in there, too, with the helmet cams and really gives you a lot of data and analytics as they're playing. They've got the on-field cameras on, It's just, and they, I get why they have to do that because it's not the NFL, so they're trying to make it more entertaining. But it's certainly working for me because I love watching it from those particular angles. Certainly makes it, it's football. Is it NFL? No, but it's still pretty exciting.
Well, and as long as they continue to exist and can stay afloat in the world of business, it gives people who didn't have the talent necessarily or maybe had the fringe talent to get to the NFL. It gives them an opportunity to possibly get there, but it also gives them a outlet to continue playing football. And it may not be, you still have the Canadian Football League. You got UFL Arena or Indoor Football League. I don't know what exactly it's called these days, but there's outlets for people to continue playing the game that they love because football is that one sport, right? Where once you take those pads off for the last time, that's probably the last time you're playing organized tackle football.
Yeah, no doubt. And there's been a lot of guys that have played in the UFL that have signed into the NFL. So like you were saying, it's, an opportunity. All right, we're going to start with a story out of Yellowstone National Park. And, of course, the gentleman that had this happen to, what state was he from?
Florida.
Correct.
I almost said Alabama.
Yeah, I felt the Alabama. Man gored by bison in year's first attack by Yellowstone's most dangerous wild animal. Yellowstone National Park has recorded the first violent encounter between a visitor and bison just weeks into the busy summer season. Again, this is from Yellowstone National Park out there in Wyoming. A Yellowstone National Park visitor from Florida was gored by a bison. The first such violent encounter of 2025, just weeks into the busy summer season. Park officials repeated a frequent warning: do not get too close to the wildlife. I wonder what too close is. The 47-year-old...
Within striking distance.
Bison can run pretty darn fast. The 47-year-old man did just that, but escaped with only minor injuries. Hope he bought a lottery ticket after. According to the park, with minor injuries, according to the park statement Wednesday. Park officials declined to say more about the visitor from Cape Coral, that's where Coach Hale used to coach football, or give details about Sunday's attack, saying only that it took place at Lake Village, an area of cabins and lodge and campsites on the shore of Yellowstone Lake. Bison can be aggressive when people don't give them enough space, park officials said in their statement, and have injured more people in Yellowstone than any other wild animal. At least 2 people were gored by bison last year, including an 83-year-old South Carolina woman who was seriously injured. A bison gored and significantly injured an Arizona woman in the park in 2023. Bison injured 2 people in 2022. Besides getting too close, visitors have been known to pick up baby bison. Why on earth would you pick up a baby bison? Such contact could cause the baby to be shunned by its herd with deadly results, not to mention the risk to the tourists. Stop picking up baby bison, people.
Or baby animals
in
of
general.
Any brand or genre.
Or genus, species.
Genus, species, that's what I was looking
for. All those things. But I mean, you can pick up baby cats and baby puppies, but they're domesticated. Usually seen grazing or lolling, L-O-L-L-I-N-G, peacefully, bison can run up to 35 miles an hour, faster than the men's world record in the 100-meter dash. And that's one person who's done that.
That's wild that they can run that fast. Also, why don't we have any team names named after warthogs?
Ooh. Good question.
Like Timon and Pumbaa, or I guess that would be Pumbaa. Yeah. They're fast. I was watching this video where the warthog had to get away from 3 different types of animals just on its way home. There was hyenas, lions, and I forget what the other one was.
Oh, my.
And yeah. I mean, it's like the Saharan version of lions, tigers, and bears.
Yes.
But they're fast. I don't understand. Why don't we name a team after the?
Is it too close?
The Washington County Warthogs.
Yeah. Is it too close to the Razorbacks, or is that synonymous?
Yeah,
or is that the American
teams.
version? Yeah, no.
There's the other teams who share names.
Yeah.
And
I like the
whatnot,
Washington Warthogs, Washington County Warthogs.
Yeah, Washington County.
Because we have wild boars all up and down.
Absolutely.
North of us, so I mean that's some good eating.
Now, what is the difference in a boar and a warthog?
I think you're about to find out.
Yeah, I am.
Bison are North America's biggest land animal. They stand up to 6 feet tall and weigh up to 2,000 pounds. I'm not taking something that's a ton, or excuse me, 2,000 pounds. Yeah, it's a ton.
Yeah, it's a ton.
I'm not picking up something that weighs a tons, baby. I can tell you that much. Some 4.7 million people visited Yellowstone in 2024. A tour bus crash killed 7 people in nearby Idaho last week. Summer season began with road plowing in late April. That's it.
Yep, that's it.
Just comes to a brief halt there.
So boars are a little bit larger.
Okay.
With a head and body length of around 5 feet and a shoulder height of up to 3 feet. Warthogs are smaller. Head and body length of around 3 to 4 feet and a shoulder height of 25 to 33 inches. The warthogs are a little bit wider and longer than boars with pronounced facial wattles, which are also known as warts.
Ah, so hence the warthog.
Yeah.
There you go.
And the tusks are a little bit larger for the warthogs as well.
Gotcha. So that's why they're in Africa.
Yeah.
And the boars are here in the United States.
There you go.
Scarier. Not as scary, but still scary nonetheless.
Both scary. Well, I mean, as long as I got the right equipment, I'm not too worried about it. But I mean, it just takes me back to Old Yeller, where I forget what was his name, Travis maybe,
I think so.
sitting up there in the tree and then just falling down, and then he got bit up, had to use his bandana as a type of bandage or tourniquet. Yeah, and man, I love that movie.
Why'd you have to take it? Now I'm going to be sad the rest of the segment.
Well, because if it wasn't for Old Yeller, I wouldn't be DJ Davy Crockett, because those were the 2 movies that I felt like were on repeat in my house when I was a kid.
Oh, man, that's tough.
I loved Old Yeller.
Oh, yeah, of course,
it.
but you know it's going to happen, and it's so sad.
Yeah, exactly, but that just kind of prepares you for life, right?
That's true. It's
like,
true.
Life is not going to be as good as you think it is, kid. Here you go. Watch this yellow
movie,
dog
and this
die.
is foreshadowing everything that's going to happen in your life. Hopefully it doesn't involve you having to shoot a dog, but you never know. Whew. That segment took a turn there. It took a turn. All right, I got a couple more. This also has to do with animals. New Zealand cyclist collides with goat during the Giro d'Italia. I believe that was a race in Italy. Yes. New Zealand cyclist competing in Europe's Giro d'Italia had a near brush with disaster when a stray goat collided with his leg and back wheel, and the moments were caught on camera. Dion Smith of the Intermarch Wanty team was in the Wanty, W-A-N-T-Y. It's got to be Wanty, right?
Yeah. Or Wanty, but I would say Wanty.
I like Wanty better.
I like it too.
What do you want? I Wanty.
It's like a baby that can't talk yet.
Yeah.
Wanty.
That's how they say it overseas. Was in a 99.4-mile third stage of the race on Sunday when he spotted a small herd of goats next to a road in Albania. Smith moved to the right side of the road to avoid the animals, excuse me, but one of the goats darted into the road and ran straight towards his bicycle. A video of the incident shows the goat jump into midair and brush Smith's leg and back wheel before landing and continuing to run. Smith managed to remain upright and continue to ride despite being knocked slightly off the road. He finished the stage in 124th place, about 15 minutes after first place finisher Mads Pedersen. I probably more expected a wild dog or something, but I guess there's a lot of goats down here, Smith told reporters at the finish line. I don't know what's more impressive, the biker staying upright and continuing off, or the goat landing on its feet and continuing and going on.
I think the biker.
I think that's fair.
Just because I feel like goats are always falling and getting right back up. Or landing,
like
whatever
cats.
Maybe. Yeah, kind of like cats, just a little bit more clumsier.
Yeah, and sometimes you can scare them and they'll fall over.
Yeah, cats can do just a little bit more gracefully. I've got one from Flagler. I don't know if y'all have done it or not because it
Probably
happened
not.
on April 29th, I believe. The birthday suit bandit.
Ooh, like naked?
Man tries to break in a woman's home per deputies. The backstory on Saturday, April 26th.
Backstory.
Shortly after midnight, the Flagler County Sheriff's Office said it received a 911 call about a nude man, later identified as Hunter, who was trying to break into a residence on Foxhole Lane in Palm Coast. The woman inside the home called 911 after she heard what sounded like a knife trying to cut through the lock on her front door. When deputies arrived, they found Hunter walking away from the woman's house completely naked. They also discovered gouge marks on the door frame and molding. According to an arrest report, Hunter is the woman's neighbor. The affidavit states that the woman saw Hunter through her front window as he yelled that he was going to come inside, the home and demanded that she open the door. Deputies later spoke with Hunter's wife at their home, who said her husband had been drinking heavily and was taking psychiatric medication. She admitted she was afraid of him but had no idea he had left their home as she had been asleep. Flagler County records show that Hunter is expected to appear for arraignment hearing on May 27th at 8:30 a.m. That was from the Flagler County Sheriff's Office, April 28th, in the year of our Lord, 2025.
There you go.
Crazy people, though, man. But that's what happens when you mix things.
Just don't.
Or just don't do it, any of them.
And then you keep yourself out of trouble. For the most part, you don't typically see people doing that when they're
not typically
in their state of things.
Especially in this day and age of everyone's got a Ring doorbell, so whatever you do stupidly in front of someone's door is going to be caught on camera and live forevermore.
Yes, forevermore. Is that an Edgar Allan Poe poem? Forevermore.
Maybe so. I don't know. What's the Crow? Is that what is Edgar Allan?
Ratching on the door. Forevermore. Forevermore. I think that is. Don't. I always say don't quote me on that because I could be wrong, and I've been wrong before. But I feel like that's. We got to go ahead and take a quick break. We'll look that up in the break. Alan Watson, a little delayed today. If he can, he's going to call. He just said he's kind of tied up at his store. So if he gives us a call, we'll jump into it with him. If not, we'll talk about some golf on our own. You're listening to The Inside Drive. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida, the afternoon underdog.
And he's trying to make a play on the ball and ends up breaking his arm. And according to Adam Goff, I mean, I didn't watch the video very many times because when people's bones break, I'm like, I mean, I watched this. I was watching Facebook the other day, and this dude jumped from a dock that was way high onto a boat. Boom. Tibia and the fibia just snapped.
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. The rest of the day, sunny and a temperature of 77 with wind 10 to 15 miles per hour out of the southwest. A mixture of very light rain and mostly clear skies tonight, a gentle breeze and warm near 72. Mostly sunny and lightly sprinkling and 78 tomorrow. 81 and sunshine with a gentle breeze Wednesday. This is your Monday's weather sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Cold, creamy, and gourmet. Milkshake Factory is now open at Breakfast Point Marketplace near Publix next to First Watch. Unbelievably delicious handcrafted milkshakes and chocolates like the famous chocolate bark. Try the mouth-watering chocolate-dipped strawberry shake. Family-friendly fun and unforgettable shakes await. Milkshake Factory now open at Breakfast Point Marketplace near Publix next to First Watch on Back Beach. Milkshake Factory.
Are you looking for a place to take a leak? Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose? Hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? If competitive pricing and a quick turnaround are what matter to your business, come see us at Reliable Hydraulic Solutions. Or you can give us a call at 850-326-3000. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport. The best place in town to take a leak.
Now back to the Inside Drive, live and local from the Gulf Plus studios.
We're starting fresh.
Fresh new start.
Locally sourced, farm to radio. The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is live and local on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Golf Plus, the studio sponsor here. We appreciate Alan Watson for all his support, all the giveaways we do. He is an unbelievable guy and does wonderful things in the golf business with 2 great stores right here in Panama City Beach and, of course, up there off Montgomery Highway, a.k.a. 231 in Dothan. His store right here in Panama City Beach, club fitting, repairs, regrips, everything you could possibly want, Golf Plus has. I got a cough drop, thank you, Michael, but struggling still.
Yes, sir.
To get through this allergies, man. It's that
it
time
stinks,
of year.
especially when like the back drip or whatever.
Yes, that's what it is.
Just sitting there trying to
the
talk.
Drainage. Yep.
Oh, I
Not
hate
conducive for talking a whole bunch. But so I apologize. Hopefully, I can get through it. Golf Plus, they're fantastic. Go get your clubs regripped. Go get measured. Go check out what your speed is. Spin rate is one of the things I was going to talk to Alan about today and talk about how important the shaft is in either your driver or your irons or your wedges for that matter.
You can ask me that question. I got you.
How important is your shaft in the driver?
Very important.
What do they call it?
No, don't ask me those detailed questions.
No, I was just saying, like, relationship to a car, what is the shaft of the driver, and what would that be synonymous with in a car?
It'd be like the drivetrain, and
which is part of the
engine.
Bingo.
And the thing that we're looking for here is revolutions per minute. Now, if I were to break that down, I'd give you this acronym that I thought about just last night, which would be revolutions per minute. And I would
yeah, good job.
I came up with that.
You did good.
Yeah.
You did good.
Yeah.
That's also my initials.
Yeah.
My dad's goal was to get everybody to call me RPM, but I think there's like
Is that really why you ended up with Patrick?
Because I was going to be Patrick Ryan.
Oh,
and then
that's
they're
PRM.
like, yeah. And then they're like, they're going to call you Patty. It's like, do I look like a Patty? No. But RPM, he was hoped that people would call me RPM, and I think there's been 2 people in my life that have called me RPM. Somebody from college, and then there might just be one. There might just be one. No, I think there's somebody locally, too, that does as well.
I like it, though. The inside drive with RPM.
Yeah. Has an interesting ring to it.
It does.
And, but yeah, PRM would not work quite as well. And Ryan's initials, my daughter, are EM, has nothing to do with the band.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, we really like that band, and so we were trying to think of names that would fit in that Mulvey, we knew that one, but then it was so we could only think of one R name, and so it was right.
Yeah. No, but in all seriousness, Ben did it. Ryan, Elizabeth, Mulvey, and that's our 2 names obviously combined. So far, she hasn't taken any animosity out towards me having the same name. But I can tell the difference between Ryan tones. When it's Ryan, unless she's in trouble, I can tell the difference when it's me. And sometimes it's little Ryan. Sometimes it's
coming
big.
from Beth.
Yes, coming from Beth.
Yeah,
and nothing negative about that. Just I can always tell the difference.
Do you get the middle name treatment too? Like if you hear the middle name, what's the first? Like if she says Ryan Patrick, what do you?
I have yet to get that. I think that's more of a maternal thing.
Okay.
I think when your mom uses your
I don't think I ever heard my mom call my dad by his middle name.
Yeah.
Me? Woo.
A few times, huh?
I was like, that should just be
that should just be what I'm addressed as.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
David Glenn.
Yeah. DG. Did you say, what was it?
Glenn.
So DGH.
Yeah, DGHJ.
It's like you can add a DGHJ.
Junior.
Ah, that's right. That's right. It almost sounds like you could have that on the end of a word, like dough or something like that. Anyway, I'm not
David Hayes Dose. I have a kid, David Hayes Trace.
Trace. Oh, goodness. Hey, might as well.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Did you want to dive into your quote that you were talking about, Forevermore?
Oh, yes, because I was reading Nevermore. Or no, I was reading Forevermore.
Yeah, you were saying Forevermore.
The Edgar Allan poem, The Raven, is actually Nevermore.
Quoth the Raven, Nevermore. What does quoth mean?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's one of the weirdest words I've ever read.
Q-U-A-T-H?
Oh.
Q-U-O-T-H. Let's see. Said. Great.
So said the Raven.
Yeah.
Nevermore.
Why can't he just use said?
Come on, Edgar Allan Poe. What kind of drugs were you on? Like, ravens don't talk, bro.
Sometimes they do.
Him and Ernest Hemingway just hanging out on an island somewhere. Huh?
Yep. But quoth.
Yeah, I guess parrots do talk, right? But not ravens.
Maybe. I don't know. Nevermore.
Oh.
Were you?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I'm proud to be an American where the
so
Pope
is
from our
the Pope.
land.
All right, let's talk some golf. This past weekend, we had the Truist Championship. It came down to Sepp Straka and Shane Lowry, who were tied going into the 16th hole. Just caught it at the very end, and I thought I was going to jinx it by watching it, but I still did, and Sepp still came through for me. But Sepp Straka and Shane Lowry went into the par 3 16th. Shane Lowry hit it a little left, couldn't get up and down, and lipped out a shorter par putt. So Straka at that point had taken a one-stroke lead. Going into the 17th hole, Sepp Straka made a nice par. Shane Lowry.
Shane Lowry, man, he just gave it up, didn't he?
He did. He also made par on that one. So he was only one stroke back going into 18. Lowry hit it left on 18 and had to take a drop from the grandstands. And Sepp Straka hit it into the right bunker. I believe he had like 210 plus. Hit a beautiful iron shot out of that bunker. Just landed short of the green and kind of didn't have a lot of spin because of the fairway bunker and rolled to about 40 plus feet past the hole. Shane Lowry hit it, I think he was about 30. I think one was 31 feet and the other was 20 feet. So Shane Lowry was about 20 feet.
That's on 18 or on 17?
On 18.
Okay.
On 18. And so Lowry had a putt to tie and force a playoff, and Sepp Straka rolled his about 3-4 feet by. So he had a little bit of meat left on that bone. But then, unfortunately, Shane Lowry just hit it a little too firm and rolled it past about 6 feet. Missed the comebacker, so he missed his bogey putt, ended up making... or missed his par putt, ended up making a bogey, so then all Sepp Straka had to do was 2-putt from about 4 feet to win. He made that putt to go on to win his second tournament of the year, his fourth tournament overall. And that indeed was a signature event. So took home that big purse, that big prize money, I think somewhere between $3 and $4 million. Man,
that's impressive.
Not bad at all. The Austrian was the first ever to win on the PGA Tour earlier this year, and then followed up with his second victory just yesterday. Sepp Straka is the only other person besides Rory McIlroy that has multiple PGA Tour wins this year, heading into the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow. It's going to be a fun PGA Championship. There's a lot of guys playing really good golf right now.
And we've got some lives playing, right?
Got several lives playing.
Do we call those live tards? I'm just kidding.
I don't think so.
I'm a live guy myself. Well,
you're not anti-live.
I'm here for what you bring me.
That's it.
I'm here for what you bring me. I would rather go to a live tour event than a PGA Tour event.
Really?
Like to visit. Like
what about a major?
Watching? The major, yeah, but I mean the PGA doesn't run the majors. I've learned that from.
That's correct. Not a single one of them is from the PGA Tour. The Masters is its own.
Well, I guess old school taught me a lot.
Yeah,
that too.
PGA Championship is the PGA of America. U.S. Open is the USGA, and the Open Championship is the RNA. That is the governing body over there in Europe.
Yeah, for me, it would be the Masters far and away.
Yeah.
Or if Pebble Beach was hosting one of them, then that would be number 2.
They host the U.S. Open every once in a while.
Right. So
probably every 8, 9, 10 years. Something
that would be number 2. It would be cool to go see St. Andrews for what would that be, the PGA? Or
that'd be the Open
Open
Championship, formerly known as the British Open.
Yeah.
But it's played in other places besides Great Britain.
But then outside of that, like it would rival, you know, if I could see the Live Tour here in the United States, like I'm talking TPC or you know, one of those more popular courses. I think I would rather go for the vibe of what the Live Tour brings to the table.
I get it. Yeah. I mean, kind of more regular sportsy, you can almost call it.
Yeah.
Like a typical atmosphere you'd find at a...
I don't want to have to go act like somebody I'm not at a PGA Tour event when I could just go be who I am at a Live Tour event and not get any
flack.
Yeah, flack.
Anything.
You can quaff that, boy.
Which simply just means said.
Or was Trevor texted in and says it means quote. So
quote the Raven.
Yeah,
that makes more sense.
Yeah, quote the Raven. Nevermore.
Nevermore. The rapping on the door. Quote the Raven. Nevermore. See, I paid attention a little bit in English Lit in high school. Not a whole lot, but a little bit.
Spark Notes for me.
Spark Notes, Cliff Notes, all that good stuff. Now you just go to ChatGPT.
Yeah, just get her done like that, bro.
You're going to need to learn how to do math because you're not going to be able to use a calculator. Well, there's calculators in our pocket every day.
Yeah.
And now we have ChatGPT.
Now we can ask something for the right answers, get the wrong answers, and put them down with a confidence that they are
right.
the right answer.
That's a great point because it's not 100% flawless. That is for sure.
Dude, I've learned that I can't even go on to ChatGPT and ask for trivia questions because 80% of the time, the answers to the trivia question are right. Yeah, because there's been a couple times done it on the show, and it's like, oh, yeah, this is not the right answer. So then I've started to go back and check, check the answer. I'm like, oh, my gosh. It's like giving me the answers. It's like give me an answer key that doesn't line up with what the questions are.
Yeah, it's like
the right answers were there, but you have to figure out which right answer goes with which question.
I asked you. I asked you for the right answer, not to guess what the right answer is. Oh, anyway. Let's see if I can get through this. The Quail Hollow, the PGA Championship, coming up this week, starting on Thursday. One of the more exciting golf courses, and it currently fits Rory McIlroy perfectly.
Yeah.
The reason why? He's won there 4 separate times. He's won in 2010, 2015, 2021, excuse me, and in 2024. I'm sorry.
It's all right. What are you going to try to fight?
Yeah, I am.
All right.
He set the course record back in 2015 with a pretty sporty 61. Golf course just really sets up well for Rory McIlroy. If you look at the odds on Hard Rock for PGA Tour winners this year, Rory McIlroy is actually the favorite ahead of Scotty Scheffler. And then I think I counted, there's 28 golfers that are plus 7,500 or better, and then all the rest of them are plus 10,000 or higher. The reason why I think that is, and I was talking to Keith about this morning, is because Quail Hollow is such a monster of a golf course. It really favors long drivers and straighter drivers, because the stat that it's the best person with strokes gained off the tee is going to end up winning this one. And Rory McIlroy has put on a display of strokes gained off the tee this particular year.
Yeah.
Highest percentage of stroke gains off the tee, tournament winners from 2010 to 2022. Waste Management Phoenix Open was 29.2%, Tour Championship 28.8%, followed by the Wells Fargo Championship, which is now supposed to be the Truist Championship, but they had to play at a different golf course because they're playing the PGA this year. That's 28.5%. 5 of the last 11 winners of this event, since it's been held at Quail Hollow, have either ranked first or second that week in strokes gained off the tee. That includes the 2 of McIlroy's wins here, 2010 and 2015. When he led the field in that statistic, elite driving of the ball is usually a prerequisite to finding consistent success on this particular golf course. That, of course, agrees wholeheartedly with McIlroy. In the ShotLink era, this cough drop should be called a cough make you cough more drop.
It's got to oppress before it suppresses.
Gotcha. It's got to make it tougher so that when you get past it, it's that much better. In his career at Quail Hollow, he's especially been dialed in with his driver. Since his debut in 2010, when the Wells Fargo was held at this venue, McIlroy averages 1.55 strokes gained off the tee per round. That is the second highest average of any player with at least 10 rounds in the books. In his 10 starts at this course in this event, McIlroy has led the field in strokes gained off the tee on 5 occasions. 9 times he's made the cut. He's never ranked outside of the top 5 in average driving distance of all drives hit. And he's certainly been fantastic with his wedges as well. One of the keys to McIlroy's second-half surge last season on tour was his vastly improved wedge play. That's carried over into this season, too. On shots from the fairway from 50 to 125 yards away, McIlroy is ranked 4th in proximity to the hole at 15 feet 3 inches. For everybody listening, if you're a golfer, that is ranked 4th on tour.
What number is that?
From 50 to 125 yards, and that's 15 feet 3 inches. So if you're 100 yards away and you hit it outside 15 feet, you are not in the top of the tour statistics.
Right.
Meaning, don't get upset if you hit it 20, 30 feet away on these shorter shots, because even the guys on tour don't average anywhere close to that. So that's just a little aside for you. That's more than 4 feet closer than the tour's average in 22-23 at 19 feet 5 inches. Quail Hollow is usually one of the more difficult courses on the PGA Tour when it comes to specific yardage range. In 2021, the last time the championship was contested at this venue, the field averaged 21 feet 10 inches from the hole on approaches 50 to 125 yards out. That was good for the second toughest rate all season on tour. Since 2010, when McIlroy made his debut here, the field averaged 18 feet 10 inches on approaches from 15 feet to 125. McIlroy's average is 15 feet on the nose, nearly 4 feet better than the mean. This differential he's enjoying this season over the tour average on these short approach shots is where he's always had against the field, at Quail Hollow. In all, McIlroy has averaged more than a full stroke gained per round with his approach shots at Quail Hollow. 4 times he's led the field here in the week for strokes gained approach. So that combination of strokes gained off the tee and strokes gained approach certainly lends him to be the favorite here at Quail Hollow.
Hey,
I lost the cough drop there for a second.
Hey, good catch though, man. You got it with your with your left hand right there.
Yeah, it's my non-dominant hand.
Nice.
Last little statistic, and then we'll take a break here.
We might add a little minute to that break, give you a little breathing exercise.
There are 135 players with 20 or more rounds at the Wells Fargo Championship when it's been played at Quail Hollow. Of that group, McIlroy is the only player with a scoring average under 70 strokes. He's been averaging 69.42 strokes per his entire rounds there at Quail Hollow. So with all that being said, he is the current favorite, I believe, at plus 350, with Scotty Scheffler being right behind him. And then just a small group at plus 7,500 or better. I mean, it just shows how difficult this golf course is, but there's some guys that just play really, really well on this particular track. So,
use your bonus bets on golf. It works out.
It does sometimes. Just listen to us, watch the 2 Off the Tee podcast, listen to Keith on Wednesdays. And, you got a good opportunity this week. I wish you could bet McIlroy, Scheffler, or DeChambeau versus the field. Because, I mean, you just feel like one of those 3 guys is going to get it done this week.
Can you make – I haven't really explored betting on golf. Betting on Hard Rock for golf.
Yeah.
I've done a few bets, but can you bet, like, just the day? Like, who wins Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do first-round leader, second-round leader.
4 days to find out.
And the odds are a lot more juicy when it comes to those first-round, second-round, third-round leaders. And you can also do matchups, too. You can do matchups per round, or you can do matchups per 72 holes.
When I do future bets, I'm talking about that future needs to be in place by the night.
The immediate future.
the immediate future bets. Instant gratification.
There you go.
Gravitas.
There you go. With all that being said, we're going to take a quick break. I desperately need one. You're listening to The Inside Drive. We'll be back for our final segment this Monday.
The Atlanta Braves are back.
Here comes the throw. It's late. Braves win.
And ESPN Northwest Florida is your exclusive radio home for Braves country.
He just wrecked that thing. Straight away center, a homer for Riley.
Sales, Strider, Acuna, Ozzie, Riley, Profar, and Coach Snitker lead a stellar lineup. Listen live nights and weekends on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Northwest Florida Wrestling presents live professional wrestling at the Possum Palace. Saturday, June 7th in Wausau. Exciting men's and women's wrestling with a huge 20-man Royal Rumble. Doors open at 4. Matches start at 5 at the Possum Palace. Front row tickets $15. General admission $12. Kids 5 and under free. All proceeds go to medical expenses for Chase Henson. We'll sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
Beach Pizza, formerly Marcy's Pizza, is back with more hours and more pizza. Each Pizza has new owners and now open every day, 11 to 11. Pizza by the slice, whole pies, wings, pretzels, garlic knots, and more choice eats in East PCB. I finally tried a slice, and it was a thin crust, totes, cheesy slice of paradise. 8815 B Thomas Drive, online at beachpizzapcb.com. Call ahead, 850-775-4053.
Introducing Southern Breeze Primary Care. With 45 years of experience, owners Holly Gay and Lisa King bring warm, friendly care, Southern charm, and a family vibe. They are the pros in youth sports, physicals, general health care, Bio-T hormone replacement therapy, certified DOT exams, and Coast Guard physicals. Southern Breeze, 107 West 19th Street, Suite B, 850-248-8002. Walk-ins are welcome and insurance is accepted but not required. Southern Breeze offers breezy solutions for your health care your needs.
Only 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida could bring sports fans like you an app this powerful. The sports content you crave is always on. Live stream us everywhere you go. Now with upgraded programming and live game schedules, you'll always know when the Atlanta Braves and your favorite games are playing. Plus, interact with our local hosts in real time and so much more. The new app for the sports fanatic is available at the Apple Store and Google Play. From 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hi, I'm Bobby Likas with today's Car Clinic Minute. Ah, romance. You, your honey, and your SUV out for a night on the town. During dinner, she steals your heart. Ah, but wait, that's not all that's stolen. When I come back, I'll give you the facts. Could be as you woo one love tableside, someone else is busy with your other love curbside. Yes, 1.6 million vehicles are stolen each year. That's one every 20 seconds. Top targets? SUVs and sports cars. And if they're under 5 years old in a city over 250,000, bullseye. So if you're in LUV with your SUV, protect it from unwanted cupids with warning or immobilizing devices, tracking systems, and good old common sense. I'm Bobby Likas. Like us, you'll love us.
Broadcasting from the Gulf Plus studios, it's the Inside Drive. From the beach to the bay to the backyard. It's the Inside Drive.
I've got sand in my underpants.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Moral of the story in that last coughing segment is that Rory McIlroy is looking poised to potentially win the second major of the year and could get two legs of that. I guess it's not a natural, it's just a regular Grand Slam, like to hold all four of them in back. I don't know if he's going to do that. I mean, that would be a miracle.
It's been a long time since that's been done, right?
Well,
Tiger
did it, but not consecutively.
Right, so that's why it's the Tiger Slam.
Yeah, the Tiger Slam. He held all four at one time, but I believe Bobby Jones was the only one to ever do it all in a row.
Oh.
Don't quote me on that, as I always say.
I'm not going to quote you on that.
But I feel like...
But I am going to say, what golf? That's going to be our trivia question all the afternoon.
Yeah, that'll be good. There you go. Just naturally...
The natural Grand Slam.
That's what it should. I mean, it's a natural hat trick when you score three in a row, right? Maybe it's just the Grand Slam, I guess is what they call it. We talked about the NCAA regionals on the women's golf side last week. Your Florida State Seminoles got the win in that one. We got a couple teams here competing, hosting up there at Auburn. That's the Auburn University Club. Congrats to Ryan Dykes for getting that golf course into such great shape to host this regional, hosted by the Auburn Tigers, the #1 ranked Auburn Tigers. They're off to a great start in the regional, which started earlier today. They're currently at 11 under par as a team. That is 5 strokes ahead of #2 UCLA, followed by Georgia Tech, SMU, New Mexico State, Purdue, and Little Rock University, who is currently ranked 48th in the nation. Behind them, USC Upstate. They're living in all of our updates today. But the Auburn Tigers looking good, looking poised to defend that national championship that we know that they won last year. I believe that was for the first time in program history. But Jackson Koivunen off to a fantastic start. He is 3 under par in his round. Brandon Valdez, who was part of that national championship team as well, is currently 5 under par. I believe he is leading the regional as we speak. He is indeed. He's got a 2-stroke lead over his teammate, Jackson Koivunen, and Pablo Areno from UCLA. Jackson Koivunen currently the number 2 ranked golfer in college sports. Moving over to the Tallahassee Regional, obviously hosted by the Florida State Seminoles, the number 11 ranked Florida State Seminoles. They are done on their round today. They have such an advantage when they play this regional at their own golf course because it is a brute of a golf course, and they know how to play it. They shot a nice little 14 under par as a team in that first round, led by #1 golfer in the country, Luke Clanton, which we've mentioned that name before because Luke and Mirabelle Ting are currently the 2 number 1 ranked golfers in the country. That's the first time as well. But Tyler Weaver at 4 under, Carson Brewer 2, Gray Albright 2 under, and then Jack Bigham was -1. So his score was indeed dropped as they count 4 out of the 5 on the team leaderboard. But good luck to Florida State. They're followed by New Mexico, Notre Dame, Ole Miss, Furman, Augusta, which is the formerly known as Augusta State, and then number 2 ranked Georgia Bulldogs. Ole Miss currently ranked number 3 in the country, sitting 8 strokes back through round 1. As you remember, it's a 3-round tournament. Top 5 teams make the cut to head out there to Carlsbad, California for the national championship. We'll start the week after the girls, which get underway the 16th of this week, which I believe is Friday? Thursday?
Ooh,
Today's the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th. Friday.
Friday's the 16th?
Friday the 16th.
Oh, payday.
Hope that's right. It is. Whew. I was going to say, don't quote me on that being the day, but that is indeed the day.
Maybe we change the name of this to Inside Drive, and in air quotes, don't quote me.
Yeah, it is called the Inside Drive, though. Sometimes. You've also got the Urbana Regional. I'm guessing that is out there in Illinois, Urbana, Illinois, home of Danny and Kevin O'Shea.
Oh, sweet. We did
I heard that, actually.
Yeah.
I was driving when you did a Little Giants trivia question.
Well, no, it wasn't a trivia question. We were doing my call-in question of the day.
Oh, yeah.
So I had Danny O'Shea coaching, I believe, the Titans.
Yeah. Can't go wrong with Danny O'Shea. He's a little brash at times, but, you know.
But he's a little nice, and you can kind of walk over him a little bit, too. But, I mean, as long as we got the icebox, we'll be okay.
And Spike.
Yeah, Spike.
That kid was on roids. He was big, carrying around refrigerators in their front yard. Crazy stuff. But Illinois is leading the Urbana Regional, followed by Texas Tech, UNLV, and your Troy Trojans. All those teams are under par. Everybody else is either even or further back. Trying to see if there's any other teams that we know of in these particular regionals. The Amherst, Massachusetts.
That's where I would first go to. Yes.
Virginia.
Well, and that's why you don't trust me for geography.
Don't quote me on it.
Don't
we
quote
get a
me.
shirt that says that.
Yeah.
The Inside Drive on the back will say, don't quote me on it.
Yeah.
Currently led by the Tennessee Volunteers at 11 under par. They're about 2/3 of the way through their golf round. Oklahoma second, Vandy third, Florida Gulf Coast 4 right now at -1. A lot of great teams in these regionals. A lot of good golf, too. I'm sure you can watch this on ESPN+. The Reno Regional, we all know where Reno is. That is at Montreux Golf and Country Club in Reno, Nevada. That hasn't gotten underway yet. So you got the number 21st ranked Duke. You got BYU, Texas, number 4 ranked Texas in there. Your Alabama Crimson Tide in this particular regional. Mississippi State as well. And then number 9 ranked Virginia. Highlight that regional out there in Reno. All right, go back. The only one is the Bremerton Regional. That is out there in Washington, so that one has not started yet either out there in the Pacific time zone. Some of the teams in there, some of the higher-ranked teams, you got Colorado, who's ranked 32nd, USF, who's ranked 29th, the Florida Gators, ranked 8th. They were the national champions a couple years ago. And then number 5 ranked Arizona State. Also has Coastal Carolina in there. But we really haven't been too great at men's golf since Dustin Johnson was there, and I was there, but not playing golf. I was just there supporting their golf team. All right, David, I know we got some local stuff, but nothing local tonight. Softball continues tomorrow, and then obviously the baseball Final Four starts next week down there in Fort Myers. But we've got some NBA and NHL playoff games that we have to pick for tonight coming up.
We haven't brought it up, so just real quick. MJ is joining NBC as a special contributor next season.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's wild.
Jordan coming off.
Jordan.
Didn't he say he was never going to do like...
I don't know if he ever said that or if he didn't, but he's going to be a special contributor, and that's wild. You know, it's obviously not going to be a money grab for him. Like he'll be making money, sure, but how much? Who knows? But now, I mean, we've got the GOATs of both sports doing commentary to some effect.
Well, I was going to talk about it tomorrow too with Doc A, but your NBA coverage is going to be completely different next year with a lot of games being on Amazon Prime. A A lot of different stuff going on, but we'll dive into that tomorrow with Doc A. All right, NBA or NHL? Which one do you start with?
Let's go NBA.
All right, I've got NBA up, so that was perfect. All right, you got the Celtics and the Knicks coming up tonight. Can the Knicks take a 3-1 lead back to Boston? Currently, the Celtics are a 6.5-point favorite, over under 208. So you can have a push in that over under. And then the Knicks are plus 195 on the money line. Celtics a heavy favorite at minus 260.
Yeah, that over under kind of scares me a little bit, but I'm gonna take Boston minus 6.5. Even this game up at 2 games apiece, and I'll stick with the over.
All right, I like that. Over the Celtics laying the points at 6.5.
Yeah.
Over 208.
I might feel more comfortable just going with a minus 260 money line than the minus 110 6.5. But I do think that the Celtics, it's going to look similar to Saturday's game.
I think that's completely fair. And then you've got the game this evening. The Minnesota Timberwolves looking to take a 3-1 series lead back to Minnesota as this game is out there in California tonight. Minnesota a 5.5-point favorite. Over-under sitting right at 200.
And let's see, their last game was 102-97, I believe. So that says they're right at 199. No Steph Curry, I believe. He's still going to be out. So give me Minnesota. I don't know if I like them to cover 5.5. I mean, this is basically the spread-wise, this is last game, right? They're just taking last game and saying this is what we expect out of it again. I just don't think Golden State has enough depth to pull out a win here without Steph Curry. So give me Minnesota. I'm going to stay away from the spread, though. I'll take winner, and
that's a tough one.
I'm going to go under.
Yeah.
I'm going to go under 200 because I think they want you to go over 200.
If you had to lean one direction, I think that's the direction to lean for sure. Going with the battle of the bets for today, they've got the Knicks and the Celtics, either 99 or fewer or 110 and over. Yeah, it's probably going to be, each team with 102 points or something like that.
Well, let's hope for an overtime game, and we'll throw $1 on it.
Yeah, I did the over in that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
It's just, again, I try to go with whatever I think is the most likely scenario, because more often than not, it's going to fall. One of the teams will get it, the other one won't, and that's typically how it goes. But a lot of money on the line if you can get some of those bonus bets, which are a lot of fun. You can make them pay dividends continually through those bonus bet scenarios. All right, let's jump over to the NHL world. See how quickly I can get there. I still don't like this new format where they put the one up there.
Caps and Hurricanes.
Caps and Hurricanes, yep. Minus 1.5 and over under 5.5. So your normal hockey spread and over under total in that one.
And this series has been good for the unders.
Yes.
Give me the Hurricanes to break the tie, I would say, and give me the under.
I think Hurricanes are down, or they're up 2-1 in this point.
Oh, is it 2-1?
Let me double check that. Don't quote me on that. Let me double check.
I don't remember their game from, I believe, was it Saturday?
4-0.
I thought the Capitals bounced back in the next game. Okay, never mind.
Wait, hold on. Let me double check.
Over there shushing me. My goodness gracious.
I didn't want you. I wanted to make sure I got this right. Yes. Carolina leads that series 2-1.
Okay, so then actually, give me the Caps to bounce back and tie this series then. And I'll take the under still. I mean, they haven't gone over yet.
Yeah, now the games have been 2-1, 3-1, and 4-0.
Yeah, so I'll take the under and Caps win plus 195.
All right.
Actually, I'll go plus 1.5 at minus 120. And
they lose by 1. You got it.
There you go.
You got it. I like that. That's pretty solid, I think. And then also coming up tonight, Edmonton Oilers and the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Hopefully Brian gets an opportunity to see Game 5, which is happening one way or the other, whether tonight goes to the Knights or the Oilers. Currently, Edmonton has a 2-1 lead in that series. Edmonton is the underdog, or the favorite, at minus 1.5, which does garner a pretty nice odds there at plus 175. This over/under total is is 6.5. David, just real quick, who are you going?
Vegas to tie this. That would tie the series, right?
Correct. Vegas to tie, yep. And over is what I would go with. It's been 4-2, 5-4, and 4-3. Over likely, and then take Vegas with the points as well. You guys have been listening to the Inside Drive Afternoon Underdogs coming up at 4. We'll see you tomorrow.
game going with ESPN Northwest Florida. Just because you get out of the car doesn't mean the Sports Talk and Live play-by-play have to end. Just say, hey, Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida. From Michigan Avenue to the man cave, from the car to the kitchen, we've got you covered. Keep the game going. Hey, Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. The rest of the day, sunny and a temperature of 77 with wind 10 to 15.